Dana, any question that you have in mind, maybe you want to put on the table for David before I go into some of the other questions I have in mind?
So much of what he's talking about is really fascinating to me because, you know, there starts to become that question of understanding ownership within the metaverse. I mean, these are like things that are like floating around my head constantly of like, I wonder, you know, how does this play out as like a larger ecosystem, and what are legal implications of somebody trying to steal somebody else's like tokens. And you know, we haven't seen all of this like play out quite yet, and so we don't know exactly what type of like sentence you could get or like legal fee that would be associated with that type of behavior. But I'm just curious if any of that stuff is kind of in your mind. And in addition to that, you know, I also think about like minors within this space and like how minors apply to engaging within these metaverse systems or just within VR and AR platforms and at-home content as well. I feel like that section of the industry is something that we as creators like don't have like a very strong hold on what exactly is happening, and it seems like it's currently just shifting constantly. For a long time at the beginning of VR, it was completely frowned upon to put any child in a headset ever at all. It was like a no-go. You can't do that because we didn't understand the brain development or how the eyes would relate to what they were seeing and psychology of the child as well. And some of that has shifted over the years. And so I feel like it's the same space right now with some of these other topics of conversation. So I'm just kind of curious, as those are two different topics, but I have a lot of things I want to ask him. So.
Well, there's a lot of questions there for David, but before we go there with that, you mentioned metaverse, and David mentioned this as well. For our audiences who may not understand what that means, maybe, you know, if you can give a bit of a introduction to metaverse.
That should be a Dana, I think. I could take it, but yeah.
Dana, if you don't mind, just a quick, in layman terms, so our audience, if they are not so digitally inclined, they can understand.
Sure. So I will preface this with, it feels like everybody has a different definition because it is being defined and created in real time. So don't hold me to every aspect of this because it may not be applicable to every company, but everyone is kind of defining what this space looks like as far as being able to engage in content that might be like an at-home platform, might be another reality that is being developed that then has cross-platform opportunities as well. For us in particular, we're still currently defining all of the different components that we have involved with it. But for us, it involves at-home entertainment, location-based entertainment, as well as broadcasting entertainment, and how people can engage on those different platforms in one kind of simultaneous coherent experience. And so they all kind of tie back to each other in a way. And it's, like I said, very complicated to describe because I don't feel like there's one definition that defines it for everyone in every company and the way that it's being used.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, and at least, you know, as we all know, it's also emerging in itself. It's not fully formed, and it will continue to evolve and adapt and probably change as it goes along. What we think about it today and what it will be in 10 years' time, it will probably be very different.